Hello and welcome everyone. In this video, we will review data frames. A data frame is a two-dimensional counterpart to the one-dimensional series that we have previously seen. It is often used for analytical purposes, and the correct way of understanding this is if we think of it as column-oriented, where each column is a series. Let's see how this data structure looks like in Python. We import the necessary libraries. Then, just like series, we create a dictionary with keys of index. So instead of data or name, now we have a columns key, which is a list of dictionaries. Each dictionary has the fields that are the name of the columns in the data frame. So rows are accessed via the index, whereas columns are accessible from the column name. To get the rows and columns, we write the function get underscore row, and this function is pretty much similar to what we did in series. Here we are looping over the columns and then accessing the values from each column. To access a column, we use get underscore call method, and here we are simply looping over the columns and then finding the column that matches the given name and then returning that column. Now let's try to find the value from the given data frame at row index 1. Now we can also get the values for a single column. Now this is cool, but let's see how we can create data frames in Pandas. For that, we could use pd.dataframe method and provide the dictionary with keys of column names and the corresponding values as lists. Now we have a 2D sheet-like structure where we have two columns with the names growth and name and the row indices as we saw in the series in the previous videos. So let's try to access the row at index 1. We could use iloc method to access rows. Now if we look at the type of the above response, it's a series. Again, we could use the string methods on the names to make this lowercase, and we could access the columns using dot notation. Previously, we used dictionary of lists, that is input type was columns. Now we can also create data frame using rows. So in this case, we provide a list, but each value in the list contains a dictionary object with the keys containing column names and the corresponding row values. Now we could also create data frame by reading data from other sources such as a CSV file. So here we are creating a CSV file like structure and then using that and the read underscore CSV method to create a data frame. Now we could also create data frame from NumPy arrays. So this is the data that we just created. In the previous videos, when we were talking about series, we saw that series are one-dimensional. They only have one axis, but in this case, we have two axes. So we have the row index and the column index. If we look at axis 0, so that's row index, whereas if we check axis 1, we can see that it represents the columns. So this was a brief data frames introduction, and we will see more of data frames functionality with examples in the coming video. Please keep watching and see you all in the next video.